Hey traders, so let's talk about what's the requirement in order for you to either have the transition from part-time trading to full-time trading, and also how does it feel like to become a full-time trader. So let me start this video by telling you full-time trading is not as exciting as you ever imagined. And especially at the beginning, when you are trying to build up your personal capital, when you are still, you have some consistency, but you're not quite there yet. Every trader will go through the phase where we know that we can trade, but in terms of financial stability, in terms of confidence, we're not quite there to either become a full-time trader or to solely take care of our family, or take care of your personal lifestyle, whatever, through just one trading income. So I was quite a different case, and I have to be very honest with you all. I went full-time trading when I had nothing. So I remember at the peak I had about 12,000 Aussie dollar savings in my bank account. Back then I actually lived in Sydney, and I made the transition very early. So when I had 12,000, I went all in. So that was all my capital, and I lost all of them. So in between, especially in the first 1 year, 2 year, I actually had to go back to job, multiple times. So I had to go back, saved up another few K, throw back into trading, and just go back to work. I went through that cycle back and forth multiple times. So to me, what makes a trader, or so-called what makes a good trader, is not just about the capital. It's not just about, I need to have 10 months savings, I need to have 2 years worth of expenses backed up in order for me to go full time. It's not just about the monetary side. It's more to your self-confidence. But again, confidence without actual skill set to back it up, you are just fantasizing, you're just daydreaming. So confidence has to sort of tally with your actual skill set and experience. So I will suggest you go back to look your journal, the past 3 to 6 months journal, and really ask yourself, okay, how does my equity curve looks like? If your equity curve looks like this big swing, back and forth, please don't go to full time yet, because big swings could mean, on the positive note, you might be making a lot of money on your winning season. So every year I split them into 3 types of season. So one is you make a lot. So in that specific month, opportunities lining up, you're in flow, on fire, you probably have 20% gain, 30% gain. It is very possible that there will always be that 3 months period, 4 months where everything's just in flow. That's what I call the big money period. Then you have months where you don't really make money. Okay, you have periods where everything stagnate, and it's either you make a little bit, you BE, or you lose a little bit. Then the remaining of your time will be your actual drawdown. As long as you can minimize your drawdown, then trading will ultimately become a lot more peaceful. If your drawdown is somehow not manageable, again, poor risk management, poor drawdown management does not necessarily mean you are an unprofitable trader. I have seen profitable trader, highly profitable trader, with a terrible risk management, but they somehow still make a lot of money. But every month, almost every single month, there will be that 1-2 weeks where they're so emotional. And I don't suggest any of you, I don't advise you to become that kind of big swing kind of trader. I much prefer, when you look at equity curve, you start seeing some stability, as in, okay, I can project. When you can start projecting your growth, your consistency, that's when I believe you are ready to go full time. It's not about capital, because these days we have online prop firms. Again, I'm not here saying that online prop firms are 100% reliable. But because nowadays traders have access to that, um, even if it's demo, we have access to that online capital. It's easier for you to have the transition into full-time trading. It's not like, at the beginning where I trade, the first 2-3 years, there's no such thing as profit. I don't even know. FTMO, they actually started quite some time ago, but I only discovered FTMO, which was the first ever company, a few years after I began my trading journey. Then my Forex Fund, and then we all know the three big names: FTMO, my Forex Fund, True Forex Fund, and also 5%. So capital is no longer the big concern because we have all these online prop firms. But again, online prop firms only favor you if you learn how to respect to their rules. So back to this. First one is assessing your consistency by looking at equity curve and see, do you have the stability on your equity curve. If you have big swings, don't go yet. Wait until you accumulate more capital, then that will act as a buffer for you, so you are not that stressed at least. Second, what makes a trader that profitable? So over the past 2.5 years running the trade club, me personally, I've been trading for 7 years. I'll tell you, just say from me, I truly become highly profitable when I start embracing risk. That's always the most important thing. A lot of people think I can make money by risking 0.5% consistently, every single trade 0.5%. It doesn't work like this. At a certain point in your career, you will definitely start embracing more risk, whether if you accept it or not. The reality is you need to start taking bigger risk. And sometimes, especially at the beginning, let's say you only have $10,000. If you risk 2% a trade, that's $200. How long does it take for you to compound into, let's say, 100K? It takes a long time. Realistically, we are not here trying to say gamble. So at a certain point, you'll start have to say you need to have the shift and the embrace and really to embrace risk and say, hey, I only have 10K, but I know I need to risk $500 trade on the high, of course, only on the A+ quality setup. I've not publicly said this before. In fact, I only share this to my mentees because I always feel like it is inappropriate to tell everyone here the key thing, the key element for you to have that U-turn, that big shift, is to risk more. I don't like to share this because beginner trader or traders who are not yet consistent might take this on a negative way and say, hey, why are you suggesting people to go gamble? No, you only start taking bigger risk if you know exactly what you're doing. So back to it. At a certain point, you'll start embracing bigger risk. And so the risk appetite always goes like this. It rises at the beginning and it slows down at the end. So if let's say you're risking $500 trade. So let me just share, for example, I do run mentorship program. I'm not here trying to upsell anything. Don't need to join, all right? I'm just here trying to tell you. I always assess their performance and we start adjusting their risk accordingly in order for them to make more. So at the very beginning, they always risk little. So sometimes, especially if they're new to the mentorship program, is a 1-year program, right? We run calls on a weekly basis. So at the very beginning, it's always, low risk. Okay, let me assess your skill first. Let me see if you do have a mechanical entry, trade management, skill in, skill out, exit model. If I see this trader actually have everything figured out and I don't see him tweaking things here and there, so consistency simply means the way you enter a trade, manage a trade, close a trade are consistent throughout every single market condition. So for example, for ranging condition, I have this set of rule. I have this set of trade management model. For a trending setup, let's say if it's a bull flag, I have this set of rule that assist me in extracting the most out of the market. Once I see a trader have everything figured out, So the first phase is called figuring everything out. Once everything is thought out, and then I'll start saying, why not we bump up the risk from $100 trade to $200 trade. I normally, if let's say you're trading prop firm, then you will stick to percentage risk management. But if let's say you're trading personal capital, unless you have 50K, 100K to start, that's a different story. If you only have 5K, 10K, which is not a big amount, honestly speaking, in trading is not a big amount, then we'll start with a $100, $200. Once we start seeing consistency, $300, we have traders who went from $100 to now risking $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 trade. We have traders who do that inside our trade club. We also have traders, they stuck at $500 risk, and I don't approve him to increase his risk appetite because I don't see him managing that amount of risk well yet. So once you start embracing more risk, I can see that you don't get distracted by the amount. Then we'll start, okay, let's go to 750. Let's go to 1,000, 2,000. So that's how it works. Then once you start risking between 2 to 5K a trade, then you can make the decision where if you want to stay there or you feel like you want to size down a little bit. So even for me as well, I used to risk $100 trade, $200 trade. Then when I started trading profit, it was 1,000, 2,000. Then I switched back to personal capital. It was 2K, 5K, 10K. Until today, I could be risking. Sometimes I risk $50,000 trade, just to be honest with y'all. And it doesn't mean I always risk the amount. It depends on the seasonality as well. There are times where in my life I feel like I want to size down. My risk appetite is little, maybe due to certain personal reason, family reason or whatever. I choose to play safe. Like these days, I only risk $10,000. January, February, I was risking 25 to 50K a trade. So I can adjust my risk accordingly. The same goes to all of you watching this lesson. The key thing to becoming a full-time, highly profitable trader is not just about how much money should I have as sort of my foundation. It's more on, do you have the consistency required? Do you have a mechanical approach to every single market condition, every single possible scenario? Because the last thing, inconsistency, is usually the result of you not trying to rule-based everything. So this time you see this, you do this. This time you see that situation, you act differently. So that will result in you, why am I not, overcoming this inconsistency error. So I hope you all learned something new from this lesson, and to really share with you, it's not just about money, it's about confidence, skill set, experience, the actual skill set. Then you have to start embracing more risk. I have seen a lot of traders thinking they are consistent, they are profitable, but in actual, they don't even have a proper strategy. Just to share with you all. So if you like the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you all later. Bye bye.